Hello everybody and welcome to WZ Sports Day. It has been a long time coming. We didn't do a Sports Day in the winter of this year for the first time since we started this thing all the way back in 2021. But we are back for another Sports Day. It is going to be coming at you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we are shaped up for the biggest sports day in quite some time. We have 4 teams. We haven't seen that since 2 years ago in Raleigh 2023. 15 players, including some newcomers and some familiar faces, of course. And we will do a deep dive into that players list and what the teams ended up being following this brief overview of the format for WZ Sports Day, Philly 2025.
Alright, so those of you who have been around a long time will pretty much know how this works by now, but for those of you who are new, it's worth going over this at least a little bit. Not to mention, there is a format taking place here that we've not seen in a while, which is the 4-team format. It's actually been 2 years since that has occurred, so we've got 4 teams of 3 to 4 players each. 3 of the teams will have 4 players. Their last team only has 3. 4 captains with a snake draft, and it will be a round-robin format. So that means every team will play every team in every sport. So as you can see, wiffle ball, basketball, volleyball, 6 games. The caveat is soccer, which is a merged sport. That means that 2 teams will combine to face off against the other 2 teams combined in each of 3 games. Every team will partner up with every team. There are 2 possible outcomes there, which is that one team goes 3-0 and every other team goes 1-2, or one team goes 0-3 and every other team goes 2-1. So in total, at the end of it all, each team will have played 12 games total, and the team with the best win-loss record will win the competition, and tiebreakers will take place if needed for first place. And now for a quick look at the player pool. We had 15 players this time around, the most we've seen since Raleigh 2023. There was also a surprise 16th player who did some emergency subbing in the later parts of this sports day, but I won't spoil that, you can just wait and see. The captains are as shown at the top, ordered by their pick slots in the draft. Below that are the players in the draft pool, and as you can see, this is a really stacked lineup. All the usual heavy hitters making their appearance, and some less common strong competitors such as Aiden and Spec. There are also a couple new faces in the mix once again, despite the fact we are on the 8th WZ Sports Day to date. We'll get into all of this and more in the new Team Profiles section coming up, a new spin on the player profile analyses I've done in the past. These were recorded in advance before the event, so they are genuine takes with no knowledge of how things actually played out. Lastly, stay tuned for after the team profiles for the return of the fan favorite captain interviews. Alright, so a new format for the player profiles, or more accurately team profiles at this point, as we will be looking at each team on the whole, as you can see here, with more condensed information about each player to make it more easily digestible. So to start off here, we have the blue team, captained by Anks. Before I get into the team's outlook though, let's get into each player individually. Starting with Anks, making an appearance as a captain once again, he has definitely been around the block when it comes to Sports Day. He's played in all of them except for LA 2024, where he was sidelined due to injury. Has 1 championship in the bag from Austin 2023, pretty far removed from that though, so he'll definitely be hungry to add another win to the books. But let's get into his individual strengths and weaknesses a bit more. As you can see, I have the standout stats section, which lists 3 stats per player that emphasizes their strengths and value to their respective teams. Anks, for starters, has that .614 on-base percentage in wiffle ball, meaning he's finding his way on base over 60% of the time, good for 5th in the league all-time. Each all-time leaderboard has around 20 to 25 players on it, so 5th is quite good, and OBP has been his bread and butter for the last few years now. His other biggest strength is without a doubt soccer, where he started to make waves on both sides of the ball, posing a strong 26% goal percent on attempts as a striker, as well as a 70% save percent while playing goalie. Both of these are near the top of the pack, so he's a versatile asset in soccer and you can plug and play him in multiple different positions. That goal percent has also been uptrending as we get into the next section here, a new addition of the player profiles. His 43% goal percent in Utah 2024 was a very impressive rate of making his shot opportunities count. We also saw an improvement in volleyball, where he struggled quite heavily in Raleigh 2023, but was making a lot less mistakes and converting kills more effectively in Utah 2024. Unfortunately, wiffle ball, which has historically been arguably his best sport, is starting to show some signs for concern as we get into the downtrending section here. His numbers in Utah 2024 dipped pretty significantly. The 50% strikeout rate is definitely alarming, as putting bat to ball and not striking out was one of Angst's biggest strengths at the plate in the past, but in Utah 2024 he struck out 50% of the time while hitting versus TK and King, who are both not known for being high strikeout pitchers. We'll have to see if he can bounce back offensively in wiffle ball this time around. Next up, we've got Wally, the first pick of the draft once again, which has been the case in every single sports day he's been on the board. He's also played every sports day but one, and has 3.5 championships to his name. The Philly 2022 three-way tie being counted as half of a win for everyone involved. That being said, he's actually lost the last 2 that he's played in, so he's very much due for a bounce-back win here. There were a lot of options to choose from for standout stats, but ultimately I went for a variety that showcases his all-around skills. He's first all-time in wiffle ball OPS, which is the go-to all-encompassing offensive statistic. In other words, making an argument for him as the best hitter. This is not even mentioning his extreme dominance as a pitcher, which is even more valuable. He's also the all-time top scorer in basketball, where he's had a very dominant last couple years, and he leads the pack by a lot in volleyball receives as well, meaning he's keeping his team alive by putting the ball in the air very consistently. One scary thing for opposing teams is that his basketball dominance has been accompanied by a staggeringly high three-point percent as of lately, which wasn't a big part of his game in the past, but is now making his scoring numbers even more insane. Also in volleyball, we saw a much higher rate of service aces, allowing him to generate a lot of offense by himself in snowball games. If there's one area of concern when it comes to wiffle ball, he did walk significantly more batters in Utah 2024 than he did in the previous couple sports days, sporting a 3.50 BB per 3, otherwise known as walks per 3 innings. Also in soccer, which can really be considered as his only arguable weak point, the offense has become pretty much non-existent since his breakout soccer event in Austin 2023. Merged soccer, however, could allow him to take more of a backseat on offense and focus on his strength of defense, so it's debatably not much of a cause for concern. The third player on the blue team, taken at pick 8, is Smash, a newcomer to WZ Sports Day, making his debut here at Philly 2025. With that said, there isn't a whole lot to talk about here, but based on what Smash has told us, the sports he is most confident in are basketball and soccer. Basketball is huge for this team, as he can complement Wally and make them a really strong force, and soccer would be a huge plus too, as this team, even with him, is arguably the weakest soccer team of the 4 on paper, and Smash could change that. He doesn't have confidence in wiffle ball, however, where he's claimed that he's never been good at stick sports, so think like baseball, golf, tennis, etc. I would circle volleyball as the big unknown for him, as he doesn't have much experience there, but is confident in his general athletic ability to get him through. All in all, I think this pick could easily end up being a steal for Angst and really propel this blue team to greater heights. The final player rounding out the blue team will be Larry, taken in conjunction with Smash at the round 2 wraparound picks. Larry has played in quite a few sports days, and he actually got a championship in his first one 4 years ago at Atlanta 2021. Unfortunately, he's not been able to notch another one since then, but he'll be looking to do so with the blue team. His strongest sport is without a doubt wiffle ball, where he sports a solid .436 batting average and has a couple home runs to his name as well, along with really good base running and fielding to round out his game. He can also help you out in basketball, as he's very good at collecting rebounds to give his team additional possessions. The wiffle ball numbers are also uptrending. Those 2 home runs I mentioned were both collected at the most recent sports day of Utah 2024, where he had had 0 home runs in 4 sports days played prior, perhaps a good omen of things to come. Naturally, the OPS Plus was excellent as well as a result, a 195, meaning he was 95% better than the average hitter in Utah, compared to 31% worse than the average hitter in Raleigh 2023. Unfortunately, soccer goalie, which was seen as a strength for him in the past, is starting to dwindle, as he had a pretty concerning 25% save percentage in Utah 2024. Volleyball as well, for the last several sports days he's played in, he has struggled to put the ball in the air with consistency. The first volleyball event he played in Phoenix 2022, he actually put up 100% of the receive opportunities he had. He will definitely need to put balls in the air with more regularity when he's on the court in order for Blue Team to compete for first in volleyball. Now, with all that said and done, let's talk about Blue Team's outlook on the whole. I feel confident in saying that Blue Team is a strong contender to win the whole event, and I'm not just going to say that about every team, trust me. This team is legit. It's a similar composition to the Cyan team from Utah 2024, the only difference being Smash in for Casper, but I think Smash as an unknown could really be a huge X factor that pushes this team to the championship that the Cyan team just barely missed out on. The main reason I think this team is a strong contender is something they have that none of the other teams do, in my opinion, which I would call guaranteed wins. Obviously, in reality, anything can happen and no wins are guaranteed, but Wally on your team makes wiffle ball and basketball wins all but guaranteed. I think at worst, they will go 4-2 between those two sports, but I expect 5-1 or 6-0. And if that happens, then they just have to survive in soccer and volleyball. I'm talking like one win apiece in order to have a very good shot at winning the whole event. And just to emphasize my point about Wally in wiffle ball and basketball, his teams are 8-0 in those two sports in the last two sports days, and he's 9-0 in his last 9 basketball games in sports day. Add on the fact that Smash is probably good at basketball, and you can see why I said what I said. With soccer being merged, I think them staying alive with one win is reasonable, and ultimately I think things will come down to the final sport in volleyball for this team. But genuinely, I think there's a chance this team could have put away the event by that point, entering volleyball with like a 7-2 record. At the end of the day though, the games aren't played on paper, they still have to get it done on the field, so we'll have to wait and see if they can do that. The next team to talk about is the pink team, captained by Grimace. It's his first sports day in quite a while, and honestly it's kind of a theme on this team. Familiar faces, but not a whole lot of quantity of appearances. Starting with Grimace, the captain, it's his first sports day since Raleigh 2023, so we're talking 2 years ago at this point. He did come away with a win there, and actually has had quite a bit of success, also winning in Phoenix 2022 and being involved in the Philly 2022 three-way tie. His biggest strength, without a doubt, is basketball, where as you can see, he has scored very efficiently with that 40% field goal percent, being second in the league all time, as well as the best rate of rebounds in the league. But also, look out for that 621 on base percentage in wiffle ball. That is a very solid stat that may come into play big time on this team. Wiffle ball also definitely uptrended massively for him, going from that first sports day in Atlanta 2021 to a year later in Philly 2022, where he went from a well below average hitter to a well above average hitter by OPS. Soccer goalie is a role he's found himself in a lot, and he had the highest volume of saves he's ever had in his last appearance of Raleigh 2023, so look out for that in this event as well. Despite basketball being his biggest strength, he did suffer a bit of a setback in Raleigh 2023, which is seen in the field goal percent going down by 24%, but honestly, this could be attributed to a foot injury he was dealing with at the time. The contributions in volleyball were also somewhat lackluster in Raleigh 2023 compared to a year prior in Philly 2022, so we'll have to look for a bounce back there as well, because volleyball is definitely a cause for concern on this team. Then next up, with the second overall pick of the draft, Grimace selected Aiden, and this definitely came as a surprise with Brawley on the board. This will be Aiden's third sports day. The first two he played had nearly a 3-year gap between them, but this time around we saw him just a year and a half ago in LA 2024. He's still looking for that first win, despite a really strong MVP type performance in that first sports day. way back in Atlanta 2021. His biggest strengths are easily soccer and basketball. As you can see, he actually has historically been the most efficient scorer all time with a 32% goal percentage, even above Eirik, which is very impressive considering his soccer proficiency. In basketball, he's been very good at getting rebounds and is also the only player in the league to not have a foul recorded to date, and I just found that an impressive thing to address. In addition to these stats, though, he's also a big scoring threat, and that can be seen by the 3.50 points per game in LA 2024, which may not sound like a lot, but is definitely near the top in this league. He also did a much better job in LA 2024 of helping his teammates out in soccer, recording 3 assists compared to 0 back in Atlanta 2021. However, that came at the cost of a lot of scoring efficiency. As you can see in the downtrending section, he went from a 50% goal percent in 2021 to a 26% goal percent in 2024, which is honestly still solid, but a far cry from the dominance he showed 4 years back. Wiffle ball will be a concern as the quality of pitching has leveled up a ton over the years. He was a well above average hitter in Atlanta 2021, but was below average in LA 2024, albeit not super significantly. All in all, getting picked at 2 overall above really strong players such as Brawley and Eirik, Aiden is going to have a big responsibility to be a superstar player on this team. The third player on the pink team will be Doobie, selected at pick 7. A Sports Day veteran, Doobie is actually tied with Wally for the most Sports Day championships of any player at 3.5. But this will be a big tester for him, as this is the first Sports Day ever where he has not had Wally or Brawley on his team, except for Phoenix 2022 where neither of them were present. With that being said though, Doobie has a nice all-around skill set that can help his team secure victories. In volleyball, he is a very solid backline player that can consistently track balls down and put them up in the air, shown by his 123 receives, good for second all-time. He also can play great support in soccer, seen by his 10 assists, good for third all-time, as well as having some pretty impressive scoring peaks in the past there as well. But honestly, I think the biggest thing he can bring to the table for this team, which is somewhat of a new development for him, is his wiffle ball pitching. He first pitched in Austin 2023 to somewhat mixed results, but most recently pitched in Utah 2024, and he had clearly been in the lab since. His strikeout rate is great, and in Utah 2024 he was 31% better than average as a pitcher. Ultimately, I think his pitching could be a huge factor for this team's wiffle ball outlook. He also was doing a better job in Utah 2024 of landing serves in play consistently in volleyball, as his service error percent went down from 43% to 14%, which is much more stable. The wiffle ball hitting, however, may be a problem, and has been a problem for some time at this point. He showed a flash of something in Raleigh 2023 where he was an above average hitter in a limited sample, but most recently was well below average in Utah 2024 with a 41 OPS+. Basketball, which is almost certainly his weakest sport, also had a setback as he was making good on his opportunities in LA 2024, but was not able to capitalize on them in Utah 2024, where he had shot just a 13% field goal percentage. On this team, he is projected to be the third player in basketball, so he will need to step up there for this team to be able to compete with some stacked basketball lineups. The fourth and final player on the pink team will be Tuck, taken second to last overall at pick 10. That being said, Tuck has a winning history, coming away with Sports Day wins in 2 out of the 3 Sports Days he's played. The most recent being Raleigh 2023, which is also the last Sports Day he played in. Unfortunately, he didn't end up playing a whole lot there, skipping out on wiffle ball and basketball entirely, and making limited appearances in soccer as well. As you can see here though, his biggest asset is wiffle ball hitting, where he has some pretty impressive career stats. A 560 batting average, 633 on-base percentage, and a 1.433 OPS are all near the top of the charts, and is definitely the biggest thing he can provide to a team that arguably lacks offensive firepower. A big upgrade to his game the last time he played wiffle ball too was that he took 5 walks as opposed to 0 walks the previous time, adding some much needed plate discipline to his hitting regime. Wiffle ball aside, he also was more consistent as a receiver in volleyball, upping his receive percent by 10% in Raleigh 2023. That being said, it is worth noting that his wiffle ball hitting in his most recent wiffle ball event was worse compared to the field than his first time out. Additionally, he was struggling to land serves in play during volleyball, committing 5 service errors in Raleigh 2023. Tuck ultimately has pretty low pressure to perform here, getting taken as low in the draft as he did, and I think he definitely has the potential to outperform his pick. So now to talk about Pink Team's outlook as a whole. If I have to be brutally honest, this is the underdog team. And it does feel odd to say that about a team that has so much championship history on it, but I don't know if embracing that winning culture will be enough to offset the odds stacked against them. I think it's a solid squad in a vacuum, but just compared to the field, I find it hard to envision them picking up a lot of wins. It's a team with a lot of questions. Will Doobie's pitching be strong enough to carry them to 2+ wins? Is their basketball core strong enough to compete with the powerhouse Wally and Brawley teams? And I think that volleyball may be a big struggle for this team. I can see a world where day 1 goes pretty well for this team. I can see them going 2-1 in wiffle ball and 2-1 in soccer. But day 2 with basketball and volleyball, I'm just not sure how that's going to look right now. Aiden is a really strong overall player, but I think Grimace opting to select him 2nd overall over Brawley, who is notoriously dominant in WZ Sports Day history, and also coming off of 2 Sports Day wins in a row, might come back to bite him. All in all, if you're looking for an underdog to root for, I think this team is the one. But I've definitely been wrong before and undersold teams that ended up exceeding my expectations, so we'll just have to see if this Pink team can do that as well. The third team we've got to look at, and this is a very interesting one, is the Purple team, captained by King. He was last seen as a captain just a couple sports days ago in LA 2024, and that worked out great for him. He will be trying to replicate that success this time around. And to start with King individually, he has been enjoying a lot of sports day success recently. After really struggling to find it in the early goings of WZ Sports Day, he's one of only 3 players who have participated in all 7 sports days, and he's won the last 2 of them, alongside another player on this team who we'll get into later. King has been a very big part of those wins too, as we've really seen a lot of impressive growth and improvement to his play over the years. The biggest example of this is volleyball, where he pretty noticeably struggled to start his career, but has been one of the best, if not the best, volleyball players for the last several sports days now. This is demonstrated by him leading the charge with 57 kills in volleyball. One sport, though, that he's kind of just always delivered in is wiffle ball. He has 8 home runs, which is tied 2nd all-time, and he has a very real chance to take the all-time lead there, as the person currently leading that category is Joseph, who won't be participating this time around. He also has driven in more runs than any other player, so he has consistently been a clutch threat in the batter's box. The OPS numbers have been great too, and despite having somewhat of a down event hitting in LA 2024, he bounced back big time in Utah 2024, where he was well above average at the plate and even had a home run against Wally, which is an extremely difficult task these days. He also was doing a lot more with his opportunities in basketball, improving his field goal percentage by 21%, which is a very significant increase. When it comes to wiffle ball, however, there is a bit of concern on the pitching side. He will consistently throw reliable innings and typically keep you in ball games, but the pitching in Utah 2024 numbers were unfortunately very down from his career lines. He is expected to be the main pitcher for this team. He might even just pitch all of their innings, so this is definitely something to look for, as I think where his pitching lands will have a very big impact on their wiffle ball success. He was also having a bit of trouble landing the serves inbound in Utah, seeing the service error percent go up a good bit, but the serving has never been at the forefront of his volleyball skill set. You can expect him to still make a good impact in that sport either way. Next up on the team is Brawley, who fell to King in the draft at pick 3, and King was very pleased about it, and for good reason. King and Brawley have teamed up to win the last 2 sports days, in LA 2024 with Black Team, as well as most recently in Utah 2024 with Neon Team. Brawley historically has been a WZ Sports Day menace, battling it out with Wally for that number 1 spot in the roster. I think most would be of the opinion that he's number 2 right now, but that hasn't stopped him from making a massive impact and coming out on top the last 2 sports days. He really is just a jack of all trades that doesn't have any noticeable weaknesses. His best sport is most likely basketball, where you can see that he has a very impressive 5.58 points per game, good for 2nd all time, and well above 3rd, along with 27 assists, which is 1st all time. So he's not only putting points on the board himself, but also putting his teammates in great positions to score as well. He's also been excellent in volleyball, where I think he has an argument for best volleyball player in WZ. His 89% receive percentage, which is 1st all time, emphasizes this point. He is extremely reliable when it comes to putting balls in the air and is a great setter as well. I think that Brawley's weakest sport is wiffle ball, but despite that, he's coming off of a great wiffle hitting performance where he was 41% better than league average by OPS+, a huge improvement over where he was at a year prior. Soccer has been up and down over the course of his WZ Sports Day career, but we saw a big increase in assists for him in Utah 2024, so he was doing a lot to put his teammates in positions to succeed. On the flip side of that, however, it came at the price of his own scoring ability, as his goal percent went down from a staggering 35% in LA 2024 to a paltry 15% in Utah 2024. One other thing that has to be noted in the downtrending section is that the basketball scoring has gone down significantly as of late. For the last 2 sports days, he's hovered around 3 to 4 points per game, which is solid, but a far cry from the eye-popping 8.67 points per game he put together the previous year in Raleigh 2023. We might need to see that version of Brawley make a return here in order for this purple team to break Wally's basketball win streak. And now we move on to Spec. It's actually been 2 years now since we saw him participate in a WZ Sports Day, which is pretty surprising. He's not found himself on the best of team situations in the past, failing to come really even close to a win in either of those sports days, but he has been a solid player himself and is definitely a great value pick for this purple team at pick 6. Spec is a good all-around player, but his best sport is definitely basketball. He's been a sharp shooter when it comes to threes, his 22% three-point percentage ranking 2nd all-time, and also has good court vision and game sense, leading to him being near the top of the charts for assists per game as well. He somewhat surprisingly has been one of the most productive wiffle ball hitters when it comes to career stats, although we haven't really seen that in 3 years since Philly 2022, so it comes a bit into question. I think Spec, though, saw encouraging trends in the other 2 sports his last time out. He came away with 3 goals during soccer in Raleigh 2023, as opposed to not scoring any in his previous appearance, which is good for his offensive outlook. His receive percentage in volleyball also ticked up, and he was a really solid setter as well. I think when it comes to wiffle ball, despite it being a small sample, he did go 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts at the plate in Raleigh 2023. Considering the majority of his offense in Philly 2022 came from just 1 game, he does have a bit to prove here. The basketball scoring also was cut in half from 2022 to 2023. He definitely looked less comfortable on the court, but I expect that with a very strong basketball core here, he will play very confidently while having trust in his teammates. And finally, rounding out the purple team, Sinclair was selected onto the squad with the 11th and final pick of the draft. This will be Sinclair's Sports Day debut, so naturally there are a lot of unknowns when it comes to what he's going to bring to the table. With that being said, however, he did not express a whole lot of confidence when it came to the sports. He doesn't have much of a sports background. He has played soccer, but that's about it. I think wiffle ball and basketball can be especially unforgiving to players who don't have a lot of experience in the sport. Volleyball is a bit more inviting, so I could see him contributing there. He did say as well that he has done cycling for a long time, so he could have solid stamina and endurance for the sports, which would be a positive for sure. Looking at Purple Team's outlook as a whole, I feel comfortable saying this team is a strong championship contender. I think there's a good argument that they are the favorites to win the whole thing outright. Again, it's always hard to argue against Wally's team, but this team is really strong. King and Brawly have already seen a ton of success together, and now they add Spec to the squad, who is comfortably a top 10 Sports Day player in WZ and undoubtedly hungry for a win. I think my biggest takeaway for this team is that they have a really make or break day one. I would say wiffle ball is their weakest sport, but with a strong offensive core of King and Brawly, they can definitely pick up a couple wins there. Then when it comes to soccer, they'll be trying to get to 2-1. I think there's a reasonable world where this team could come out of day one being like 1-5 or 2-4, but this team will be really strong on day two. I think that they have the strongest volleyball team, and they'll be competing to be the best basketball team as well. I think between those two sports they will go at least 4-2 and could even get 5 or 6 wins. So even if they do struggle on day one, they will still have a chance. And if they come out of day one with like a 4-2 record, I would almost just say that it's a wrap. What will be interesting to see is how they incorporate Sinclair into the team. Their core is undoubtedly strong, but Sinclair is a big unknown. This is definitely something that could affect their winning chances. But despite that, I would say that this purple team, alongside blue team, are the frontrunners to win the event. And now finally, the last team to go over, the orange team. This is the only team in the event with 3 players instead of 4. This is a team that'll look pretty familiar. We've more or less seen it a couple times before. Referring to myself in the third person warning as always, TK will be the captain of the squad this time around. He was previously a captain in Atlanta 2021 as well as Raleigh 2023, so kind of have an every 2 years thing going on there. Going over TK first, he is one of just 3 players to play in all 7 WZ Sports Days to date, now 8 including this one, alongside King and soon to be talked about teammate Haller. Those 2.5 championships actually came in the first 3 Sports Day events, so it's been a long 3 years of no titles since then. The individual performances have been solid though. Most notably is Wiffle Ball, where he ranks 2nd on the all-time leaderboards in OPS, the all-encompassing offensive stat. 30 goals in soccer is also tied for first all-time with 2 other players, and you might be able to tell who if you look up and down the rest of the stat sheet. Pretty crazy coincidence there. An underrated skill he has as well is the ability to consistently put serves in play in volleyball. His 5% service error is the lowest all time, and he currently holds a streak of 49 straight serves without an error, dating back to Austin 2023. On the subject of volleyball, he had a down event noticeably in Raleigh 2023, but was able to bounce back well in LA 2024, with a kill percent nearly doubling from 26% to 50%. Wiffle ball pitching took a positive turn in the last event of Utah 2024 as well, with a whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched, nearly cut in half, allowing 2.4 base runners per inning instead of 4. On the other side of the ball though, in wiffle ball, there is some cause for concern as the OPS numbers have graded out around league average in the last 2 Sports Day events, which does not stand up to the career stat line. Basketball is TK's worst sport, and while it took a positive turn in Raleigh 2023, it dipped pretty significantly in his next outing of LA 2024. The 3-point percentage went from a respectable 15% to 0%. TK is currently still dealing with a lingering ankle injury, which will affect his basketball mobility, so his ability to land 3-point shots from the outside will likely be a crucial part of his game. Next up on the team is Eirik, taken 4th overall in the wraparound picks. This is the 3rd time Eirik has been on TK's team, and they are just coming off of an event together on the red team in Utah 2024. That event sadly ended in a last place, but they were competitive, just missing out on first by 2 wins, and an untimely injury to TK during basketball may have been the dagger. Speaking on Eirik though, he's still looking for that first WZ Sports Day win. He's got the first place tie in Philly 2022, but that's it. And for a player of his caliber, that's honestly shocking. I guess just having to go up against Wally and Brawly every event will do that to you. Eirik has one major strength, and that is soccer. He is undoubtedly the best soccer player in WZ, and that is exemplified by being tied for the all-time lead in soccer goals with 30, despite having 2 less sports days played than the other 2 players in the tie. as well as leading the charge on the assists leaderboard with 15. So he's a dual threat of being able to score himself and also helping his teammates score, which is insanely valuable. Another big strength of his has been receiving in volleyball. His 116 receives ranks 3rd all time. Crazily enough, I would say Eirik is coming off of his best soccer showing yet. He upped his goal percent to a whopping 43% in Utah 2024, while scoring a good volume, racking up assists, and even playing some goalie. Another big area of improvement of his over the years has been basketball. In LA 2024, he collected a ton of rebounds. 31 led the league easily. He was creating a lot of extra possessions for his team. One area of concern for him at this point is definitely wiffle ball. He has been struggling to hit the ball the last couple sports days now. He was historically a power threat too, but has not hit a home run in the last couple sports days either. I did mention his volleyball receiving ability earlier, but unfortunately those numbers downtrended most recently in Utah 2024 as well, his receiving percent going down 10% from Raleigh 2023 to 1 year later in Utah 2024. Those will both be really important areas for him to bounce back for this team to have success. And then finally, the last player to talk about rounding out the orange team is going to be Howler, taken at pick 5 alongside Eirik at the wraparound picks. As mentioned before, he has played in every WZ Sports Day to date alongside King and TK. Like TK, he has 2.5 championships to his name. His last one, though, came pretty recently, just a couple events ago in LA 2024. Howler has been on a team with both Eirik and TK 3 times now. The first time being Philly 2022 on the red team, where they had an upset performance and landed in a 3-way tie for first, followed by the next time being in the most recent sports day in Utah 2024, where as previously discussed, did not go as well. Howler himself is one of the best examples of an all-around player in WZ. This is shown by the variety of different sports he has first place stats in. 100 rebounds on the dot in basketball, ranks first all time. He is really good at collecting those boards and contributing all over the court. He's been historically great at soccer, 30 goals being tied first all time with both of his teammates. And his serving has been excellent in volleyball, his 57 service aces being first all time by a pretty notable margin. Along with that serving ability, he also added some good frontline play to his game in Utah 2024, where his kill percent jumped significantly to 61%, compared to 18% in Raleigh 2023. He also did a lot more scoring in basketball than the previous summer. He went from just 1.33 points per game in Raleigh 2023 to 4 points per game in Utah 2024. The biggest concern for Howler, like Eirik, is going to be wiffle ball. However, I would say Howler has found more consistent success in the past when it comes to swinging the bat. With that said, however, he is coming off of a really disappointing performance in Utah where he was a well below average hitter. Another area of note comes in the form of soccer assists, where he racked up a ton of them in LA 2024 but wasn't able to notch a single one in Utah 2024. Most likely that's just happenstance, but it is something to note. So when it comes to Orange Team on the whole, I would say that this is the biggest wildcard team. We've seen this core play together before, and we've seen the various highs and lows. What I think we can say pretty definitively though is that this team's biggest strength is certainly going to be soccer. This core has not lost a soccer game, being 6-0 all time. We still will have to see if TK's injury ends up relegating him to goalie only, but even if it does, I would say the expectation is still very high, 2-1 being almost a given, with a real chance to go 3-0. And they kind of need to, because there's a lot of uncertainty everywhere else. Wiffle ball to start out the event will be really important for this team. Well, they have a fairly strong batting lineup on paper, including the benefit of batting a 3-man lineup. Where TK's pitching lands is going to be really important for this team. Similar to the purple team and pink team, you could see them landing anywhere from 0-3 to 2-1. Basketball is the team's weakest area for sure. It will be difficult for them to pick up a win there. Finishing things off with volleyball, I would say it's a strong volleyball team that can make some noise. It's more so just a matter of still being in the hunt for first by the time it gets to volleyball. I think the biggest determining factor for that will be wiffle ball, so they're gonna have to come out swinging. On paper, it's definitely hard to put this team on the same tier as the blue and purple teams respectively, but this is definitely a team with an outside chance to win the whole thing.
Welcome to the Sports Day 2025 Philadelphia Team Captain Interviews. Today, we got TK, Anks, King, and Grimace. Let's get into it. First, this is going to be for everyone to say their answer at the same time. Which team is rank 1? 3, 2, 1.
Blue.
Pink. Blue.
All right, so we got 3 blues and a pink.
These guys don't have confidence.
I mean, Anks claimed his own team.
Blue.
Blue.
I bet.
That's some pussy shit.
No further clarification required.
No, we're gonna go through it.
Okay, we're gonna go through it.
TK, why do you think blue is expected to win or rank 1?
Yeah, so that was, you really put me on the spot there, because I think between blue or purple, those to me are like the two, like, on paper strongest teams. But I feel like blue just has more like guaranteed wins, as I would call them. Between wiffle ball and basketball, it just feels like blue is really difficult to beat. Purple is like the most well-rounded team in my opinion, but has like more potential to lose, I feel, than blue.
All right. Anks,
Hello.
why do you think blue team is rank 1?
Because we're rank 1. I have rank 1. And I also have unknown dude Smash, but he looks sexy as fuck and rank 1. So I think we won already. And then I have, who do we got? Larry?
I don't even know your team.
I don't even know my team. Larry?
Yeah, I don't either.
Larry? That's also rank 1. Like, us GG's actually. All right. Next.
King.
Yeah, so I'm in a similar boat to Mr. Card over there, as I'm very confident in the purple team doing well. You know, me and Brawley we're on a little bit of a run here, and we got Spec to back us up. But to TK's point, I think Wally in basketball and wiffle ball is just you're asking a lot to try and take games off of that. So I think they've got wiffle ball pretty locked down, and Wally is LeBron James. So I mean, it'll be tough to try to beat them in basketball. I think we'll make a run, but I think it's hard not to predict blue to win. But I think we're gonna put them up for a good run, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Grimace, pink team, rank 1.
Rank 1. I think the rank 1 is very subjective personally. If we're going, my rank 1 is based off of vibes alone. You know, winning sports day is really cool and all, but when you've got a team like mine, like, vibes are like what we're aiming for personally. And we've got star-studded folks like, you know, Aiden making his return to sports day and meetups in general. You've got Doobie, who's coming fresh off of, you know, just being himself. We have Tuck, you know, biggest pop star ever out of every individual at the meetup. And then there's myself, the glue holding everyone together, if you will. I just think we're rank 1 in many facets, maybe not sports day, but everything, you know, otherwise.
All right. Same type of thing. We're gonna do 3, 2, 1, everyone at once. Which jersey is rank 1? All right.
I need a second.
Check 'em
Okay,
out.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Pink,
None.
purple.
None.
That's
All
not
right.
the answer.
That's not an answer. You gotta pick
All right,
something.
fine.
All right. So everyone
great,
picks their
Ralph.
own.
Self-pointed, yeah.
All right. TK, start with you.
It's actually kind of tough, but to me it's between orange, brown, I mean just orange, just the team name, or purple for me. And I like slightly obviously like everyone picked their jersey, right? So everyone's just gonna say theirs, but it's a pretty nice color combo. I like the orange and the brown. Haven't historically been a fan of the pattern, but I think the color combination works really well.
Thanks.
All right, so I said no, and I think that's the correct answer. All of them are trash. But like this is literally Thanksgiving turkey. Like that's Thanksgiving turkey.
Reese's Pieces.
This is like
It's Cleveland Browns.
this is like I'm in a spiral. I'm in a spiral, never-ending spiral. That's crazy. This is like shit purple team, and this is like this is okay actually. This is okay.
His answer is actually pink.
That's actually okay. So I don't know. It's
So-
one of these two. It's one
So
of
you
these two.
say you're in a spiral. Does that have anything to do with how you drafted in general throughout this?
I don't think so. I think no, maybe my life's in a spiral, but not the draft.
Okay,
The draft.
okay,
The draft's
okay.
good.
All right, King.
So I've always much preferred this font to that absolute horseshit.
Wrong.
That egregiously wrong.
This is just so much cleaner. I mean, this is okay with an outline like that. Like that looks nice. That looks nice. It's got a good outline. But you just stick that on whatever the fuck is going on here. Like it's not a bad jersey. It's not bad, but it's clear rank last out of this lineup. This one, I love the pink. The fade, a little questionable. I can't lie, but I do like. I think the finished product looks good. Again, the far superior font helps as well. This one, I'm digging the Thanksgiving Cleveland Brown vibe. I think it's a good color combo for that pattern, which I think I'm more fond of that pattern than others. I think it came out pretty good, but this is just fucking nuts. I think the purple is good. I think the pink pairs with it well. And like the patterns and the all that stuff, it's hit or miss for me. I tend to with this jersey company that we buy from, I tend to like the simpler ones better, and I think this is absolute rank 1 by far.
Well, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinions. Anyway, Grimace.
So I chose pink. Typically, I'd pick purple. It's obvious. However, my team collectively chose the pink, and I stand by my team. I think it's rank 1 personally. It matches the vibes that we were going for. The aforementioned vibes. That is.
All right.
Speaking of vibes, I mean, this guy.
Period, bitch.
All right, we'll go down the line for what you believe is your strongest sport. TK, we'll start with you.
Soccer. It's soccer.
Seems straightforward, but if you would like to elaborate.
It's me, Eric, and Howard. We've never lost a game in soccer. We could lose one this time. I think there's a couple pretty strong soccer rosters, but with merged, it's like we're always going to have a really strong team, no matter who we're paired with. So I really like our chances to at least go 2-1, and I think we have a strong chance to 3-0 soccer.
All right. Thanks. I didn't do it all at once, so you had a moment to think.
I did. And I think the answer is wiffle ball. If I'm being completely and utterly honest, I do have rank 1 pitcher, and I have Larry Strauer, who is very good on the field, and he's also been a very good hitter lately, in my opinion. And then Smash, we don't really know, but like, he seems rank 1.
Did claim very bad at stick sports.
He'll manage. I'll just teach him my strats.
You do have Shohei Ohtani on your team, so I think
Yeah, I know. I'm the GOAT, but
Agreed.
Yeah. I think we're gonna be pretty good in wiffle ball.
Curious, Captain. All right, King.
I think it's pretty clear for my team. Volleyball, 100%. I think we have a strong team in basketball as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Brawley and Spec are fantastic at basketball, but again, we do have to face LeBron James at some point, and we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll have a strategy. I'm sure we'll hold our own, but I think when you look at all the other teams we're up against, I think that's where we'll have the most edge, in my opinion. Me and Brawley have proven to be a very strong duo in volleyball, and Spec did well, I think, in all his volleyball events, but I especially remember Teal when we were on a team together and we did good, so I think that'll be a strong volleyball team, and I look forward to it.
All right, Grimace.
Really good question. Thanks, by the way, for that question. I personally, I don't know. I think it's a toss-up. I don't think basketball is necessarily in the question for us. I think we've got a couple of good individuals, but I don't think overall we have a cohesive team for basketball. Probably going to be between, I would say, maybe soccer, potentially wiffle. We have like the height for volleyball. I don't know that we have the skill for it necessarily. I would probably say between soccer and wiffle, I think are probably going to be our two strongest.
All right. And the inverse of that, we'll go with the weakest sport.
Basketball. Again, these two have been pretty easy questions for me, but basketball, I mean, we're fucking cooked, to put it bluntly. Their two teams were like, I don't want to say guaranteed losing to, but very likely. I feel like the team that we have a chance to beat in basketball is Pink Team, but Grimace and Aiden are quite good. I'm gonna be like limited mobility because I'm still like have my ankle problem. And Howler and Eric are good, but I mean it's just like the teams are just all fucking stacked in basketball. It is what it is.
Thanks.
It's definitely between soccer and volley. I would say volley because it's randomly number generated. But you know, I think people could argue soccer, but I feel like I think we have a decent squad for soccer. Personally, I feel like I'd be be like merged with us in soccer. So I feel like just volleyball, Ringa, like just YOLO. I just hope we win. Like bullshit.
King.
I think probably wiffle. I mean, you could maybe say soccer, but I think it's definitely wiffle. I do think we're a very well-rounded team, and we can hold our own in all four of the sports. But I think probably wiffle. I think when you factor in Sinclair, who seems kind of new with a lot of the sports, I think for people that are new, wiffle ball tends to be the toughest, just because baseball just has a lot of rules that can take a little while to kind of get accustomed to. And then I think Brawley and Spec are solid hitters, but with wiffle ball, you just never know until the day comes. I've had my down events. I'm probably projected to be the best hitter on the team, but we're facing Wally and Doobie, who has scaled massively in pitching, so that's going to be a tough day for us in wiffle. So again, I think we'll hold our own. I'm confident, but I think if I had to pick a weakest out of the four, that would probably be the one.
All right, Grimace.
I'm going to go with volleyball. I think it's probably the sport that we have the least experience overall with. I think we probably have a couple of weapons in each other's sport, but volleyball is probably the one that we are just not going to do super well in. I think it's going to be fun regardless, whether we win or lose, but I think it's going to be trudge through the mud personally.
All right. This will also be a question for everyone. Who do you think was the most sleeper pick in the draft? TK, we'll start with you.
So by sleeper, you mean like underdrafted, right?
Underdrafted.
It's Brawley. Yeah. I thought there was a chance that like even like Inks might go Brawley first pick if he got really inspired. So to see Brawley go third was like, I was very surprised. I mean, I know he's like claiming injured, and now he's claiming that he's shitting himself IRL with diarrhea, just to be clear. But despite that, I think he'll show up on game day. He's gonna beat Brawley. He's gonna be nuts.
He's the two-time right now. He's back-to-back defending champs.
Yeah, back-to-back champ. Like even when he was losing sports days, he was still like undisputed, like 1A, 1B, or 2. So it's like he's just, in my opinion, the most underdrafted.
Thanks.
My gut reaction was Smash. I obviously agree with TK, but like ignoring that, not like I just had gut reaction like Smash. I thought Smash should have been drafted a bit earlier, but it's understandable because we know nothing about him. It's like how can we know? But I think he's going to be underdrafted. We'll see if that answer holds up or not.
King.
Pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. That's Smash is right where my mind went, and again, same reasons. A little bit of trepidation there, just because we just haven't seen him yet. But from what he gave us as far as his experience and his strong suits, I think there's definitely potential as far as after the event for him to be underdrafted. Again, though, I do agree with TK, but that seems like that's kind of a boring answer. So I think
if you were to give an estimation, right, where do you think? Like 1 pick, 2 picks, 3 picks?
So I think, let's see. So it went Wally, Aiden, Brawly.
But the picks before were Doobie,
Yeah.
and then Spec, and then Hyrek.
I think he could end up. He could end up in like the Haller Iric category. I think he could go as high as that, or the lowest, like just where he was. But I think realistically he'll end up somewhere in like the Spec Doobie area, or could be as high as Haller Iric if he does very well.
All right. Grimace.
So, controversial answer here. Not to glaze him because he's here, but I think most sleeper picks are probably going to be Tuck. Based off my earlier answer, I drafted I drafted my overall team for vibes, and to have fun. I think any team without Tuck is a team that's not having fun, personally.
Yes, God, mama.
Win or lose.
Period, bitch. Keep talking.
Win or lose.
Zoom in on that.
I'm a winner with Tuck on my team, personally.
How can you argue that?
I love that Mickey Mouse ass answer. Thank you.
I'll pad that.
You walk away.
I got what I wanted out of this. Have fun.
All right. Next, another one for everyone. What sports specifically, whether it's a specific game or matchup or whatever, do you think you need to win in order to optimize your chance at winning Sports Day? Give you guys a minute. I know that's kind of a loaded question.
I'll start with this one. I don't think we have a chance necessarily. I don't think it matters what sport we win or lose. I think obviously picking up some wins in basketball, I think is probably going to be one of our better bets. I think, and along with hoping for some wins in the merged like soccer games. Other than that, though, I think we'll be pulling for one of the lower spots.
In true pink team fashion. Well, I guess we're going this way now.
Sure.
So the way I haven't done a whole lot of analyzing, but I think in my head it's like I think we're gonna do very well in volley. I think in soccer and in basketball we're gonna either be like around 500 or maybe I don't know how the records are gonna work in this, but
it'll be at three total games. So.
Okay, yeah. So I think like volleyball, I'm thinking in like 2-1, maybe 3-0 if we pop off. I'm thinking in soccer and basketball, probably like 1-2, 2-1, maybe 3-0 if we absolutely go insane, but probably like 1-2 or 2-1. So I think we need to take some wiffle games that we're maybe not projected to win. I think we definitely I think we really need to win the orange-brown game where we're not. I mean, TK obviously respectable pitcher, but that's going to be our best shot. Taking and also the pink team game with Doobie on the mound would be huge, because the blue team game is going to be tough. But if we can go 2-1, I think that really sets us up very well.
I think we really need to win the I think we're going to be in trouble if we don't win the basket game versus purple. I think that's a pretty important game for us. Like, I would not want to see us lose that. I think we would definitely win. We're going to definitely want it, because I don't want to leave it up to like us performing in volleyball or us like maybe 2-1ing soccer if we're like lucky, but like, so
the problem with soccer there is because it's merged, if we go 2-1, they would have to go 0-3 in order for there to be any variance. Same with 1-2. So if brown team goes like a projected 3-0 in soccer, every other team goes 1-2. If a team goes 0-3, everyone else goes 2-1.
Yeah.
So the only gap there with purple would be is if they go 0-3 versus,
that's true.
or we go 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say that basket game. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
Okay, so yeah, I think soccer, basketball, kind of like pretty much know what we're gonna get. Volleyball's randomly number generated, like Hank said, so like Turbach. So basically, it's wiffle ball, and pretty much I mirror what King said. like I almost feel identically to him when it comes to wiffle ball, just flipped. Like the game that's really important, I think, is that it's orange versus purple, and it's also the first game we play. So it's our first sports day game. It like sets the tone, and like literally what King said, like King's a capable pitcher, but I definitely think we have the best chance to put up runs in that game. Like I think we can beat Pink too, but like Doobie, with how he's been scaling and pitching, is scary. Kind of like a little unknown though. I'm not going into that thinking like, oh, we're guaranteed scoring nothing. It's just like
it'll be tough.
He could pop off very easily. So I think our wiffle games against purple and pink are gonna like decide the whole event for us. If we go 0-3 in wiffle, we're fucked. But if we get 1 or 2 wins, ideally 2, then we can compete.
All right. Very good. All right, now we're going to get into some individual questions.
Oh boy.
We will start with TK. How are you feeling about having the same core as the last time you were in Philly?
Yeah, not only is it the same core that I had in Philly, it's the same core that I had in Utah, the last sports day that we played. And I wasn't expecting for this to be my team at all, to be honest. Going in, I thought my team was either going to be Howler spec or Iric spec, depending on how the picks before went. Yeah, it just turned out that Aiden got picked a little higher than I was expecting him to. So it's Iric Howler again, and I mean, it's a good team. I mean, like, we got last event, but it was like competitive, and I got injured. So it's like, I still feel like it's a strong core. I really like that soccer is just like so fucking good, because just having a sport that you're really strong in takes a little pressure off the other ones, because it's like, well, at least we have soccer. So yeah, I mean, I like the team. It's like good vibes too. It's yeah, I mean, my like favorite sports day I've played was Philly 2022, and that was with this team. Plus knee. And maybe that's the secret recipe we're missing. Maybe we just need knee 69 back on our team.
He does have the jersey for you guys this time.
Yeah,
he is repping the Cleveland Browns.
And he might need to suit up in basketball if things go by. So, yeah, maybe that'll get us the wins we need, is knee on the court guarding Grimace.
We'll take him after wiffle ball, yeah.
I don't think any captain here would be opposed to you adding in a 4th member of the roster, even this late. He does have the jersey, so
yeah, he does have the jersey.
This is part of the team.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Okay.
Like
Thanks.
I said, after wiffle ball.
Thanks.
Oh, what up?
Why did you opt for first pick overall and choose Wally again after an unsuccessful sports day with first pick and Wally? Do you think that it was a choice that you should have gone Brawly or opted for a different pick overall?
I honestly was thinking about going second pick, but I opted to a first pick because I cared more about getting 8-9 over 7-10 picks. Honestly, I feel like that's the main reason. Like, as for why I drafted you and we failed last time, we got scammed. It was bullshit. IMO. That's hot take. That's hot take.
Can you elaborate on that?
Can you elaborate?
Football is bullshit. Anyway.
Someone tell City.
Okay, to be fair, it's TK's fault. Him getting
Don't
injured
tell me.
ruined football.
Don't tell me.
Well, it hurt our team. But I don't think I've ever told Angst that. I only told TK that.
Yeah. So I think our chances are as good as like they were in Utah. That's, I don't know. I thought we were gonna win in Utah. We didn't. It happens. So that's my thoughts.
Came down a little high.
Yeah.
All right. King.
Hey, man.
In my personal opinion, Raleigh Teal was one of the most teamwork-based and really well-rounded, very team-oriented teams to ever exist in Sports Day. How does it feel to be back with Spec, who is a core component to that team?
I'm very excited to have Spec. Again, as alluded to, the draft didn't go exactly how we were thinking, but I was hoping to get him, and I did. I was thinking the team would probably be like I was thinking like Hal or Spec or Hal or Aiden, but ended up getting my partner in crime, Brawley, and Spec to boot. So I'm very excited about that. To your point, great teamwork on the teal team. Especially volleyball comes to mind, but obviously Spec very, very strong in basketball. I don't think he was feeling too great by the time we got around to wiffle. I think he was pretty banged up. So I'm excited to see how he does at closer to 100%. And Brawley has always been a great teammate. Even before I was able to team with him these last few times, I always picked up on how good of a teammate he is, as far as like that type of energy that he brings to a team. So I think that, coupled with, to your point, the strong teamwork that we had going on the teal team, I think it's going to make for a very good experience in that department. So I look forward to it.
Excellent. Finally, Grimace. Give us some thoughts on why you decided to opt in to Aiden as opposed to Mr. Two-Time himself.
That's okay. I saw this one coming. So it's been a while since Aiden's been around to a meetup. We last played together in Atlanta. Like my inaugural meetup as well. And I had a blast playing with him. It didn't go exactly how we expected, but just from over the years here and the sort of sports he's been involved with, I think he brings a different vibe to any team that he's on. And I'm super excited to play with him. I was hesitant to pick Brawley because of the massive injury he had. He was still recovering at the time of the draft. Was posting like daily updates of his recovery. So I was really hesitant to pick him up then, so as to avoid a potential of having, a really strong player, and then a couple of more mid-tier, to say the least, without sounding insulting, players. I would have hated for him to get to the meetup and get injured, and then we just be kind of left with a dumpster fire team, so to speak. So I chose to opt for a little bit of a more, I guess, overall well-rounded team, if you will. I don't think I made a mistake in the draft personally. I'm sure we might not be the rank 1 winningest team, but kind of like what I alluded to earlier, I think our vibes are going to be unmatched. I think we're going to have a fun time regardless.
Do you think that could have been a situation where you would take, if you could go back and do it again, do you think you would look into, not even knowing Brawley's status now, like taking the 3rd pick or the 4th pick to get the potential of Aiden and maybe even like a higher echelon player at that stage?
So to be quite frank, I don't know, because I didn't really plan for this draft. I went into it very blindly. I admittedly hadn't been to a meetup since Raleigh 2 years ago. There's been at least 3 meetups since. So I don't know what sort of playing field everybody's been on since then. I probably could have gone back and watched tapes, but I would have rather just gone into it blind and picked a team that I would have had fun playing with.
Totally fair. All right. Closing thoughts from everyone. Go down the line. Any last words? Any shit talking you want to say?
I just honestly, regardless of how the overall event goes, I just hope that wiffle goes well for us. Honestly, even if we end up choking it in volleyball or something, wiffle ball is my favorite sport, and I feel like I've not hit the greatest the last 2 events. It's been around league average, which I really enjoyed hitting in the past. So just kind of want to get back to that. I've been practicing pitching a bit too, so I'm hoping to pitch at least as well as I did in Utah, where I was at least keeping us in the game. But it would be nice if I could throw a shutout or something. I don't think I've ever done that, so that would be cool. That's it.
Thanks.
Teal.
King.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be way more long-winded than that shit, but I'm of 2 minds. My competitive side of me is very excited for the event. I'm very excited to compete. I hope we do well. I hope me and Brawley keep the train rolling and we make it a 3-peat. And then at the same time, I also I want to shout out Grimace and his perspective going in, because as fun as it is to kind of analyze this and to kind of fantasy draft and to think about all the different ways that it could go and analyze and try to figure out how the event's going to go. At the end of the day, that's the beauty of sports, is that you just never know how it's going to pan out, whether it's a draft, whether it's the game itself. And I think it's always very important to keep the perspective and the big picture that at the end of the day, this is about having fun, this is about having a good time, this is about being around each other, spending time together and having a good time, and having good vibes, good fun, good times. So I know it's going to be competitive. I know we might get heated at times, and that's great, and I love it, but I hope we all remember that this is about having a great fucking time like we always do. So let's go out there, let's have some good competitive games, and let's fucking kill it.
Yeah, I think Pink Team's going to win. Not necessarily in Sports Day, but, overall, mentally we're booming. Excited for the post-Sports Day drinking,
Mental boom.
All right. Thank you, Grimace. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say my goodbyes to everyone. So TK, I can't flame you too much because you're injured. I hope you do well in Whiffle. Anks, if we lose, never draft me again. King, fuck you for having Brawley for the 3rd time in a row. And Grimace, because you gave him Brawley, I hope you trip on another tree root.
Thank you.
Thank you.
GG's.
So that is going to do it for this introductory video for WZ Sports Day Philly 2025, everyone. It ran a bit longer than I would have liked it to, so if you've stuck around this long, just know that I appreciate it, and thanks a bunch for watching. The next video will be the first sport of the event, which is going to be wiffle ball this time around. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.